What is up, everyone? It's Austin, and we are back with another episode of my $10 PlayStation Collection series. If you're new to the channel, we started off with a $10 bill. We went to pawn shops, thrift stores, game stores, looking for items that we could possibly flip, and then we used that flipped profit to purchase and build a giant PlayStation collection. I don't have too much to go over to start off this week. We did a great job last week completing our collection of infamous games and the Resistance. We found all three for each of those franchises, and we're going to continue to look for the rest of these games on our whiteboard. Without further ado though, let's jump into our collection and see what we sold. Here at the Game Showcase, and we just got one sale for right now, hoping to get some more throughout the week. But we sold this Traptanium Portal, and this one sold for $31. Picked it up for around $5. Looks like we just made another sale, and it's gonna be this Grand Theft Auto Trilogy on the Nintendo Switch. Brand new and sealed still. This one sold for $29. And we got it at GameStop for around $15 to $20. We just used credit, so we're getting cash back for this now. Let's go ahead and get these items packaged and shipped. After eBay fees and shipping, this is how much we'll get to add back to the game fund. Starting off at a Pawn America store this week, and right off the bat we got a Warriors of Rock for $15, a bit high, so gonna pass on that. We're checking out these PlayStation 3 games and just looking for anything that we could add to our collection. I did manage to find some games, and the first one is this Ratchet & Clank, A Crack in Time for $10. We are still looking for these games, a couple of Ratchet games on the PS3, and then we got Tools of Destruction also at around $10, complete as well. So we are going to be grabbing these two right off the bat for this stop. Found this Die Hard Trilogy for $8, seemed a bit low of a price. Other than that though, I didn't really find too much. We're checking out the PS4 section and got this Telltale Batman for $25. This is one that I would like to get for the collection and play. And then some PS5 games up here as well. This $20 game, haven't seen that one before. Then we got a couple of PS4 games. Got a Spyro game here for $13. Next, we are checking out this Twin Cities pawn shop, and they were selling games for around $3 a piece. They always give a great deal. Found this Batman game on the Xbox 360 section. Just gonna be browsing around to see any interesting titles or titles that I could possibly flip. But these are a lot of lower end games, so gonna be passing up on a lot of this. Over in the PlayStation section, they had some Xbox One games, and the first game that I found was this 2K19 WWE game, and I think I'm going to start picking some of these up. Some of them do hold some value, and I could bundle them up on eBay at some point. Found Crysis 2, one that I could possibly add to the collection. They had a small selection of PS4 games on this discount rack, and then a bunch of PS3 games. I kind of just started pulling out some games that I could be interested in, like this Mirror's Edge, definitely a classic. Down here in the PlayStation 2 section, it was looking kind of rough. Not really anything I wanted to pick up here. After searching around some more, I did find this Madden 11, which is one of the later games on the PS2. Goes for around like $15. Taking a look at this glass case next, and these were all also $3 a piece, and seemed to be some better games in here. Right at the end, I did find a Call of Duty Ghost, which is one to keep an eye out for because that thing values for around like 20 bucks. And then in the Xbox One section, I don't think I found anything worth grabbing here. Back at the game showcase, we just made 2 more sales. The first item is going to be these two. These Fallout 3 and New Vegas Game of the Year and Ultimate Editions. Comes with all the DLC, and we sold this for $48. And then the second item we sold is going to be this one right here, the Good Place Complete Series on Blu-ray, and this one sold for $26. Let's go ahead and get these 2 packaged and shipped. After eBay fees and shipping, this is how much we'll get to add back to the game fund. Here we are at Savers, and this location, I tend to find more video games. We got a ton of stuff up here, and right off the bat, I'm seeing SSX for $8.99. It's 25% off Tuesday. I already checked the condition and it seemed to be really good. So for about like what, $6-7 might be worth it. I also got a copy of Forza Horizon 2, which I think this one still goes for around like 15 to 20 as well. We'll have to debate if the margins are worth it. Let's see, Halo Wars, Force Unleashed. Again, $9 is such a high price for some of these. And then I'm seeing Black Ops 4, which I don't find this one too often. Yeah, I don't think this one's worth grabbing either, though. We got a Minecraft Season Pass. And then not really seeing much else. I guess there was this too, this NASCAR. Scanning through more media stuff and not really finding anything else worth grabbing. A couple more Blu-rays over here. This is Prince of Persia. I've never actually watched this one. They have this Gansfield Haunting, which is a very uncommon one. Couldn't really find it on eBay. So I think we're gonna pass on that. Looks like we'll just be going with these 3. Alright, we're looking at $21.86, which is actually a lot less than what I was thinking. We got $2.25 off of each game. For our last stop, we're checking out this Max at Pawn Shop, and today they were pricing games all at around $5 a piece, which isn't the lowest, but we definitely can find some deals. I did find this NHL game, but had the wrong disc in there. And then I found this Conan game, which I never actually owned this one, and I don't see it too often. Goes for around like 15 bucks. Digging around some more, and I found Guardians of the Galaxy, the Telltale game. I don't see this one too often. And then down here, a couple PS2 games. We got Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. I don't really have any in the PlayStation collection, but I've got all these games in my personal collection already, so not going to be grabbing them. Over here on the side of the rack, found this Miles Morales game, and this was on the PS5, so I possibly could just pick it up. Here on the other side, and I found NBA 2K25. This one actually is kind of uncommon. It's the last NBA game on the PS4, so it does hold some value. Also got a God of War game right here, which I think I did pass up on. I'm not sure if there are multiple discs for that. scanning around some more, and I did find a couple copies of this Modern Warfare 3. I'm not sure when this game released, but still holds some value, so I think we are going to grab these. And then we got a copy of Days Gone right here. And for $5, I think that's a good price. Did have the game and the disc in there, so we'll be picking this one up for sure. Made our way back to the car, and we ended up paying $5 a piece for these games. I don't think I got a chance to show you guys yet, but yeah, it's around $30 total, and we should be able to at least double up with what we got. I also did grab some other personal items, but I'm not going to include those in my collection. We are now back in the game room. Let's take some time to go over all our pickups. So starting off at the Savers thrift store, we picked up 3 games for around $6 a piece, so not the cheapest, but we got some great ones. We got Forza Horizon 2. This one does hold some value still. I've heard that these Forza Horizon games were delisted from the online marketplace. Not 100% sure if that's true, but if that is the case, then yeah, these will definitely shoot up in value. We got SSX, the first one on the PlayStation 2, and probably paid up a little bit for this one. Still a classic, developed by EA Big, and great to add to the collection. We also picked up this NASCAR Dirt to Daytona game, which I had never seen before. It is complete, and apparently it does hold some value, so I also got it for around $6. Then we made a visit to Twin Cities Pawn, which they tend to always give me good deals. Paid about $3 a piece for these games. Got Madden 11, and I think this is one of the later ones that released on the PlayStation 2. Values for around like 20-ish bucks. Decided to grab this WWE 2K19 game, and I think I'm just gonna start picking some of these up and then possibly bundle them together. I know some of these do still hold a decent amount of value. We got Resident Evil Biohazard for $3. Couldn't pass up on that. I already have this on like the PlayStation 5 though. And then lastly, we got Call of Duty Ghosts, which is one to always pick up. Also values for around 20-ish bucks. We then made a visit to a Maxit pawn shop, and this store gave me like $1 to $2 deals on games last time. This time though, they said around $5 a game. It all depends on the time and day when they are willing to give out good deals, but we picked up a copy of Days Gone, and surprisingly, this one doesn't hold too much value. This is a first party PlayStation exclusive, does have a PS5 enhancement as well, so I would have thought this one would maintain some value, but no. Got another copy of Miles Morales on the PlayStation 4. Could be one to just trade into GameStop. I think GameStop is paying around $9 for this. We got a copy of 2K15 on the PS4, one of the later ones, so decided to pick this one up. We got 2 copies of Modern Warfare 3. Not sure why I grabbed both of them. Must hold a little bit of value still. And then lastly, we just picked up this copy of Conan on the Xbox 360, and I've never owned this game. Looks decent though. We'll debate on keeping this one or not. Last but not least, we went to a Pawn America store and picked up 2 Ratchet & Clank games for around $10 a piece. We got Tools of Destruction, and this is actually the first one that released on the PlayStation 3. This is the Future Saga trilogy, and this one was reviewed pretty well. It was released during the launch of the PlayStation 3. Great gameplay, funny dialogue, and a really nice story. And then lastly, we just got Ratchet & Clank A Crack in Time, which is actually the 3rd game in the series in conclusion. You gotta go up against Dr. Nefarious and stop his evil plan. It also dives more into Ratchet's family and species. They also add some Clank specific levels, some time, puzzles, and challenges. But yeah, 2 great games to add to our collection, and this will allow us to put 2 more tallies next to the Ratchet games. We're closing in on finishing this series of games on our whiteboard. But yeah, I think that's all I got for this week. Thank you guys all for tuning in, and I'll see you all on the next one.